I'm Clara Moore, Executive Chef at Local Harvest Cafe and Catering. Today I'm going to be making my ultimate recipe, which is basically my mom's fried chicken with a little update. I really enjoy buying a whole bird because I love to break down chickens. The breast still has the bones on it. I like to fry them with the bones on it because it keeps the white meat, which cooks really quickly, from cooking too fast and drying out. Once we cut the chicken up, we're gonna put it in some buttermilk. The chicken can go in the buttermilk from 24 hours to just 1 hour is enough. The longer the better, I would say. Using a really good quality buttermilk is important. It adds flavor, it adds moisture, and it adds beautiful, wonderful fat. The acidity of the buttermilk will add a beautiful tang to your fried chicken, which will give it a lot more complexity. We're gonna make the wet part of the batter. So we're gonna break the eggs a little bit and add some more beautiful, beautiful buttermilk. To this, we're just gonna add a little salt, a little pepper. So our flour mixture is some beautiful unbleached flour, a whole heap of mustard powder, and that is the secret ingredient. We throw in a little cayenne and a good amount of salt. And I even take a little of this flour and I taste it to make sure it has enough salt and spice, and it does. One of the most important parts of the fried chicken is getting a really wonderful crust. We use one hand for the wet and one hand for the dry. That keeps our hands from getting too cakey. I always dip another time in the wet. After the second dip, we'll get a wonderful double crust. My mom really seemed to enjoy frying chicken, and so I have a lot of fond memories attached to it. That's why I really, really like passing it on to my friends and family now. Fried chicken is such a community meal that I asked a couple friends to help me out. So now we're gonna fry the chicken. I use lard, and I'm sure a couple of you are cringing right now, but lard is really a wonderful fat. It has a very high smoke point, which means it doesn't burn as easily. It also has a large amount of minerals and nutrients. Especially if you get the lard from a pasture-raised pig that actually goes out in the sun and eats from the ground, rolls around in the mud. The lard also imparts just a little delicious porky flavor. So I use a shallow fry, so the top of the chicken is above the level of the oil. So we fry it for about 5 minutes on each side. We get a nice golden crust, but that's not quite enough to cook the chicken all the way through. So we pull it off and drain a little bit of the oil. And for a little insurance policy, we throw the chicken in a 300-degree oven for roughly about 15 minutes, just to make sure we're not serving rare chicken.